What's up, Raiders? Welcome to Raid today for July 3rd, 2023. I'm Gestel from Gestel Gaming, and the Gnut GUNIT Fusion has started. We'll discuss the calendar, plus much more, here on Raid today. Let's dive right into it. Alright, I'm not going to necessarily break down the entire schedule. This is a kind of look at this more as a daily show. So I'm going to focus more on what's going to affect us here in the next couple days. Just a general thought on it. It looks, compared to the last Fragment event that almost took 3 weeks, they've definitely condensed this one back down to 2 weeks. A lot of overlapping here, which could be good or bad. We'll see as it plays out. Now there are 3 artifact enhancement events, 1, 2, and 3. There are also 3 dungeon diver events. Classic arena has been taken back down to 2, which is unfortunate. Those are the easiest I've said in the past. Dungeon divers I feel like is always kind of the most difficult, so 3 of those could be difficult to finish, but this is a great champ. I think they typically made the fusions a little bit more difficult in the past, so I could see this being a little bit more difficult on this one. So what do we got to do today? What can you do today? The 3 things that are open currently right now. They showed up this morning, they were in there. Not there yesterday, here today. So we had no time to prepare, but that's fine. I think we all pretty much knew how this was going to go, unless obviously you're new to the game. Then listen closely. So today, Artifact Enhancement Event 1, Spider Tournament, Champion Training Event have all started today. They are live in-game as we speak. And then we can see tomorrow, Dungeon Divers starts. So these are kind of the 4 we got to look at for the next 3 days, essentially. How would I attack this? Now, the major other piece to this is CVC starting tomorrow. Now, it is a non-personal reward CVC, so not super important, at least in my clan. We don't take the non-personal rewards as seriously. But you might as well get points regardless of being personal rewards or non-personal rewards during CVC. So if you can, I would say hold off on doing anything until tomorrow. Specifically the Spider Tournament. You don't want to do Spider Tournament without Dungeon Divers active. You get a lot of points from Spider Tournament. It is, I would say, for the most part, the quickest. It's got to be the quickest farm of all the dungeons. So if you're farming there for CVC to get points, that's typically where you're farming. If you're farming a dungeon for CVC points, it's typically Spider. So my recommendation is, as to any other Monday prior to CVC, hold off on doing anything until tomorrow. Now, if you need to use your energy and have it refresh, tonight, tomorrow morning, free-to-play player, low-spend player, understandable. Go ahead, get started. CVC is not important to you at all, or to your clan. Go ahead, get started today. I would probably start with Champion Training Event and try and hold off the Spider till tomorrow when the Dungeon Divers. Now, obviously, if you're using campaign to get the Champion Training done, at least portions of it, that will help with the Dungeon Divers as well, but not nearly as much as the Spider event would. So if you're doing anything today, do Champion Training. Hold everything else till tomorrow. Artifact Enhancement can hold off till tomorrow. Get the CVC points while you're doing that. And yeah, that's how I'm approaching this. I'm pretty much not going to do anything until tomorrow. I would highly recommend that as well. So there you go. The GUNIT Fusion is underway. Now, just a couple other things I wanted to look at. Now, based on the picture we saw the other day, we saw this guy, and we did see this guy, Ambassador Lethlin. And we got Rare Grin Suncursed. I'm sure I screwed both those up, but there we go. That's how I'm saying it right now. So there are 2 different epics. It is 3 epics from the non-void, and then you're gonna have to get 1 void. They also have introduced, we're going to go through all these champs here in a little bit in the update 7.30 highlights. But just looking at the calendar here, so they've added basically a new Force Rare, a new Void Rare, a new Force Epic, and a new Void Epic. These are all champs that you're going to have to collect in order to fuse either the epics or the epics to fuse GUNIT. So I believe this is the first time they're doing it this way. I could be wrong. It's either been kind of all the same rare and all the same epic, or one of each. Like you'd have 4 new rares and 4 new epics. I have not seen it this way, so I could be wrong, but this looks new to me. Why are they doing it this way? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe they just wanted a couple new champs in there. I thought that these might be champions for the new faction, the Sylvan Watchers. I don't think any of them are. So I'm not sure. But yeah, so Fusion's started. It's exciting times here at Raid. Love the Fusions, especially when they're a great Fusion. This guy, I have not used them yet, but the early testing that I've heard from other content creators on YouTube is he's outstanding. So please, if you got the resources, study that ship and get it done. He's going to be certainly worthwhile. All right, let's dive into these highlights for patch 7.30. Hello Raiders! A new update is almost here, and it brings several major features that we've teased in our last What's Next in Raid video. Prepare to enter the eerie Phantom Shogun's Grove in search of a magical extract that will help you ascend your accessories, lead the Sylvan Watchers as they join the faction wars, and recruit awesome new champions. Read on if you want to know the details. We're going to read on. First of all, accessories will become available for Ascension in the same way artifacts are right now. To recap, you can ascend accessories that are at least rank 4 and level 12, but rarity does not matter, which creates a new bonus stat for that accessory. The bonus stat will increase with every new ascension level, and the maximum ascension level equals accessories ranks. This is the same way artifacts work, just bringing it to accessories. Now, just quickly, my thoughts on this. Whatever, I'm obviously not super thrilled of having to farm another dungeon to get another resource to upgrade another item. Probably would have been nicer if they just stuck to oils. Since it's already in the game, we would at least not have to add another resource to gather, and then maybe give you the option to farm either the new Shoguns or farm Sand Devils to get those oils, or if you had oils, you'd already be able to upgrade your accessories. That's not how it's done in gacha games, I guess, or at least that's not how Plarium's not going to handle this in their gacha game. But this is what we got to work with. Accessories are pretty much all flat stats, I guess, except for as their main stat, except for crit damage. I'm pretty sure everything else isn't. The other, so crit damage. So my point being, the rings, you're pretty much just getting a flat stat boost, which is okay, not great, but definitely, min-maxing. You're gonna want to max that at some point. For the amulets, you could get that crit damage extra roll, which would be huge. I think that those will probably be the priority. And you can also get, I would imagine, accuracy and resistance on the banners, which will also be a bonus. So I think those are probably the three best upgrades you can get to your accessories. Now, obviously, extra HP is always good. Extra, I guess, if you can get HP percentage, attack percentage on the banners, you could probably get it on the ring too. Now that I think about it. So let's say you have an attack flat stat ring and you can get attack percentage. That would be really strong. I think that's how that is how the artifacts work, because if it is a substat, it's available as a substat, I believe then you can get that as your bonus. Maybe wrong. I think I might be wrong now. All right, well, we'll figure that out, and I will report back tomorrow. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm not super thrilled about these extracts. It's going to help you, but I don't think it'll help you as much as the artifacts will help you. But again, when you're min-maxing, you're going to want to get these upgrades at some point. Each tier is required for specific ascension levels. Lesser extract will ascend your chosen accessory to level 1 and 2. Greater extract will cover 3 and 4. Super extract will get you to level 5 and 6. That's exactly how the oils work for your artifacts. And then you can go check out the video here. That video is a very good video, basically talking about the new boss. We're not going to go through all of his stats as we discussed this the other day, or all of his abilities. He looks interesting. He looks difficult. I think they basically built him so that you can't use Geomancer against him. Geo's basically used everywhere else, so I think they're trying to prevent that from Geo just becoming the ultimate champ. And, you know, they'll have to make him a legendary, I would imagine, at some point, because he's too good. Jokes, of course, but he is that good. Alright, moving on. Faction Wars, the Sylvan Watchers. The Sylvan Watchers will receive their own crypt in the Faction Wars, which means new rewards will become available as soon as you earn more stars. However, keep in mind that Lydia will still remain the ultimate reward, and you'll need to complete the new crypt to get her. And if you have already earned enough stars to recruit Lydia but forgot to claim her, she will be sent to your collection or inbox if there is no free slot when the update goes live. Now, if you're holding on to Lydia for CVC, it looks like they're going to throw her in your collection. So maybe, or inbox if there are no free slots. So I would recommend filling up your collection, having it go to your inbox, and then waiting for CVC to take her out of your inbox. I'm not sure. I think that will work. I think that'll work. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that would probably be the best way to guarantee that you're going to get the 30,000 points for CVC. So keep an eye on that. Champ filter, or what I like to call the Gestel.gg filter, as it is pretty much the same thing as my website. We understand that navigating the expanded champion collection can be difficult, thus update 7.3 will introduce an updated champion filter. We are making it as comprehensive as possible, and you'll be able to search champions by their name or even combination of letters if you can't remember the full name, and any of the following factors. If you want to see a preview of this, head on over to Gestel.gg. The exact same functionality has been there for over a year. They have now brought it to the game. Thank you for bringing it to the game. I built the website because it was grossly needed. Grossly needed. But stay tuned for updates to the website. We're going to have a lot cooler things coming. Super, super helpful. Early game, mid game, end game. Everybody's going to love the new features we got on the website. So head on over there, bookmark it, and use it until... And frankly, you're still going to want to use it because this is only going to work for the champions you have. If you want to get a list of all the champions in the game that you can sort the same way you can sort with this new Gestel.gg filter, you can do it on the website. So it's still going to be very useful. Still be a great tool. You can combine these filters however you want to in order to pick your dream team on the battle select screen or to find specific champions in your collection. It's honestly the best thing to this to me is being able to do this when you're in arena or you're in a dungeon and you want to search for someone. I think this is the best. This is where it's going to come in handy the most. In terms of looking for a champion when you're in your collection, it'll just make it a lot easier to type in the name. I've been asking that for a long time, especially since they added the ascensions and the empowerments. It's not sorted like it used to be, so it just becomes very difficult to find anyone. So I think that's the biggest wins on that one. Alright, balance changes, Polymorph, Blessing, and Stone Skin. So some balance is coming. We've been talking about this for a while. I guess they will finally be here with 7.3. Come update 7.3, we are going to tweak the balance of Stone Skin buff and the Polymorph Blessing. The Stone Skin buff will remain mostly the same, except champions will now suffer additional damage from HP burn, just like they do from bombs. The updated description goes as follow. We do not need to read this, but if you want to head on over to the to this updated highlights 7.3 highlight page to read all the details here, and with the polymorph change, we've discussed it at length. I will leave that link in the description below. So we can move on to the new champions. GUNIT, we already know, we've gone through it. I think the biggest thing, and they did not add it in here, but that the A3 is based on enemy max HP. The damage is based on enemy max HP. We've had, I guess we haven't, the only clarification I've had of this, I don't necessarily want to share it, but was through a DM between NTG Jedi and what I assume is a rep from Plarium, verifying that this is a enemy max HP damage based on enemy max HP. The A3 is, so that is huge. That makes this ability insanely strong. And frankly, I'm gonna try on the free-to-play account. Hopefully, I can get him. I'm going to be trying him out in Clan Boss in lieu of Geomancer and see if he can bring me a little more damage there. I'm curious. I'm going to definitely test that out. Alright, here we go. Ambassador Lethalin. Probably spelled it wrong, or probably pronounced it wrong. And I definitely would spell it wrong. Rarity Epic. He is an epic. He is a forest champ, support, and high elves. I think this guy looks pretty interesting. Let's see why. AoE A1 has a 15% chance that does book up to 40 of placing a 30% decreased crit rate debuff for 2 turns. Now, in PvE, that basically negates crit damage because they all the PvE champions you face, they don't wear any gear, so they have the standard 15% crit rate. Now, if it's a strong affinity going against you, I believe they could still hit you with a crit, but regardless, it's interesting. And then and then obviously A1 AoE right away makes me think stun set. So it could be good for situations like that. Any support, so you're not necessarily building them for damage. So a stun set would be good. If this champion's HP is full, the chance increases to 30, which then would increase to 55 if you got it booked. So, interesting. Interesting, I like the A1. This is an epic, right? A2 places a taunt buff on the target ally for 2 turns. So, I picture the taunt almost like the provoke, like you're throwing the provoke out and you're telling everyone to fight me, use your A1s and attack me. That's how the provoke works. So taunt, I guess, was somewhat the reverse. Like, I'm gonna put the taunt on me, so you fight me, right? That's how I've always thought about it. But here, this is interesting, right? You can actually take this taunt and put it on someone else. Say you want to put it on Krisk or someone who's really tanky, so that they get attacked. I kind of like that idea. Now, what I don't like about it is an auto. Who the heck is he throwing that taunt on? It'll be interesting to see. Is he throwing it on the person with the most HP? Is he throwing it on the person with the highest defense? I guess we'll find that out. But if you're manualing it, then you can decide where it's going to go. That would be pretty cool. Also places 30% reflect damage buff on all allies for 2 turns. This is a 6-turn cooldown, books down to 4. Reflect damage is underwhelming. It's only good when you're facing it in PvE and you're dropping a ton of damage on them and killing yourself, like a Seer or any of your AoE nukers. I don't feel like this is good going into bosses. I don't feel like this goes too well going in. I mean, you can kill off some waves here and there, some mobs and some waves. But reflect damage is underwhelming in my opinion. And then, this looks like the passive. The basic decreases the duration of 2 random debuffs on all allies, then heals all allies by 5% of their max HP. Is this a passive? No, this is an ability. Oh yeah, this is ability. And then the Ascended, this is written out really weird. I haven't seen them do it like this. Normally they just give you the Ascended. Alright, but here's the Ascended portion of the A3. Decreases duration of 2 random debuffs on all allies, then heals all the allies by 5% of their max HP. Heals by further 2.5% max HP for each debuff that has its duration decreased. And that will book down to 4 turns. Yeah. Removing 2 random debuffs. Now, if you only have 2 debuffs on you, and it's the duration, it actually doesn't completely remove them. Could be good, definitely not great. So, all in all, he's in high elf faction. I don't think he's that great. He's okay. AoE A1's always interesting. The taunt buff is going to be useful for the new boss, wherever he went. I guess he was much further up. For the new boss, the Shogun buff, or boss. Looks like taunt's gonna be strong there, so I guess it's good to bring another taunt champion in. It's interesting that he can put the taunt on someone else, but I don't know if he's gonna be, I don't know if the rest of his kit's honestly good enough to take into that new boss. Maybe for the early stages of it, but I'm sure at the higher end it's not gonna be as useful. Weregrin Suncursed. Kind of looks like a werewolf, I guess. His actual in-game character or champion. He looks a lot like Brachus, just not the wolf face, just more of a humanoid face. Kind of interesting. We'll check it out here in a sec if it's in-game yet. I think it is. But the A1 attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of stealing one random buff. That's okay. That books up to 50%. Not a bad A1 2-hitter. A2 attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit will ignore a shield buff. That's pretty good. Oh, by the way, he is a Void Epic attack-based champ on the Skinwalkers. Places True Fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy. Also places Unkillable buff on this champ for 1 turn if it kills an enemy. That books down to 3 turns. And then the A3 swaps HP with an enemy, then grants an extra turn. That's booked down to a 5-turn cooldown. And then the passive, it does mark with a P. Deals 30% more damage against targets whose current HP is lower than this champ's current HP. That's kind of interesting, right? It's almost like you want to swap HP. So you want low HP to be able to swap your HP with someone who's got a lot of HP. And then when you do that, you're going to be dealing 30% more damage. So, I mean, the kit seems to make sense altogether. Ignoring shields is cool. He's obviously void-based, so no weak hits. You know, I guess we gotta see him in action. We gotta see what the multipliers are. We gotta see how hard this hits. To see if he's gonna be viable. But interesting. Any void epic, typically you gotta at least take a good look at it. Because they typically make the void epics pretty strong. Not all of them, but for the most part, a lot of them are pretty strong. Alright, we got a new one here. Another new Void Epic. This is not part of the Fusion, so we got some new champs outside the Fusion. That's cool. Ethelyn the Golden. Epic Void attack, another attack-based champ for the High Elves. I don't think we have enough High Elves. Might as well keep adding to it. Not like we have a new faction or anything. Attacks one enemy, places a shield buff on this champion equal to 10% of the damage dealt for 2 turns. Also heals the champ by 10% of the damage dealt if their HP is less than 50%. I hate qualifiers, but on an A1, I guess it's not too big a deal. Let's hope it doesn't persist throughout. The A2 attacks all enemies 2 times, AoE 2-hitter, that's good. The first hit has a 75% chance of placing block active skills. I don't love attack-based champs that have to place debuffs, because then you got to start thinking about accuracy. Let's see if something changes, maybe in the passive here. I digress. Debuff for 2 turns. The second hit has a 75%. I'm sure that books up to 100. It does. Placing a true fear debuff for 1 turn if enemies are not under the block active skill. Another qualifier. That's on a 4-turn cooldown. Alright, let's keep going and see if something changes. Places increase crit damage buff on this champ for 3 turns and increase accuracy. Okay, so you do get an increased accuracy buff on this champ for 2 turns. And it grants an extra turn. That's a 4-turn cooldown when booked. So at least you're getting the increased accuracy, but that means you still have to build accuracy if you're increasing any accuracy. Not as much, though. You know, the biggest thing out of that is, like, when you're looking for you're building accuracy, you want that accuracy banner, and if you can, you want the accuracy chest. When you're building a damage dealer, you kind of don't want to do either of those. You want the attack percentage chest, and you want that flat attack banner with a high roll attack percentage on the substat. So, you know, maybe you could swap in the accuracy banner and get enough where you're getting this up to 400 or 500 accuracy, where then you can actually land some of these. But, okay. And the passive, ignore 10% of the defense when attacking support, defense, and HP champions. Does not work against bosses. Yeah, that's okay. Ignoring 10% of defense, hey, you gotta like that. That's like having that's like 2-piece set of Cruel. It's 5% each, right? So, not bad. And then the aura is accuracy only by 40, but that is all battle. So, we'll see. We'll see how they do. Maybe he hits really hard. And you won't even care about dropping or adding those debuffs. 30 extra crit damage and an extra turn. Extra turn is always really nice. Extra turn is always really nice. Especially when they're self-buffing and then taking an extra turn. So we'll see. We'll see when it comes out. Alright, down to the rares. We'll quickly go through these. Oh, we do have a rare Silver Watcher. That's nice. And I think we have 4 total now. Loneblade Rehab is a rare Force Affinity attack-based Sylvan Watcher. A1 attacks 2 times, single target 2 times. Each critical hit fills this champ's turn meter by 5. Okay, not bad for a rare. Another single target 2-hitter before attacking places increased crit on this champ for 2 turns, so you can build them at 85% instead of 100%, at least for this ability. You know, you may have to worry about the A1 proccing if you're building at 85 and relying on this buff. because it is for 2 turns. But okay. The first hit has an 85% chance, a 50% chance of placing a 30% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. The second hit has a 50% chance of placing a 15% weakened debuff for 2 turns. And those both book up to, I guess, respectively. They both book up to 75% chance. So 75% chance of landing those 2. It is a rare again, so we don't have to dive too deep into it. Each hit from this champ deals an extra 5% damage if the target is under decreased defense or weaken. Deals an extra 10% damage if this target is under both decreased defense and weaken. So, you know, it probably could be okay if you don't have a ton of champs for the Sylvan Watchers. Looks like it could do a little bit of damage. The 2 abilities. That's a 3-turn cooldown when booked. Might be okay. Might be okay. Oh, okay, and our Void Rare is also Sylvan Watchers. That's nice. A support-based champ. Tree Shield Knot. A1 attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 20% chance of placing decreased attack. The small decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. That books up to a 35% chance. That could be good. It's a 3-hitter, so it should have a good chance at landing at 35%. One of those landing, right? 1 and 3. The A2 heals all allies by 15% of their max HP. Also places a 30% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. Yeah, this one's looking a lot better for using as a rare in your Sylvan Watcher faction wars for sure. Increased defense is nice. That is the small version, but certainly would be helpful. Especially, again, if you don't have a lot of champs. A little bit of a heal. The heal would be nicer if it was based on her health as opposed to the other champions' max HP. But if you're rolling in there with a bunch of legendaries or epics that have a lot higher HP than this champ, then yeah, maybe that's better. That'll book down to a 3-turn cooldown. The A3 revives 2 random allies with 25% HP, 25% turn meter. There you go. This is now an excellent champion for your faction wars. Few rares. I think there's only 2 other rares. Gear Grinder and Grinner? No. And Reliquary. This is now the 4th Reviver rare? Let me know if I'm wrong. I think there's just 4. Also places a shield buff on all revived allies for 2 turns equal to 20% of their max. That will book down to 5 turns. So I think this is a great champ. And speed and faction crypts. There you go. So pretty much built out for faction crypts. So there you go. That is the, you might have heard some rumors about a new resource. Stay tuned for more details in the in-game news. You may have heard some rumors about a new resource. I don't know what they're talking about. I haven't heard any rumors of a new resource, so I will stay tuned and I will let you know as soon as I hear. Alright, what else we going on? Let's get into the game finally. Alright, what do we got going on? Like I said, according to the calendar, we got Spider Tournament going. This is the classic arena that started a couple days ago. Make sure you're getting everything from here. This is ending in 14 hours. So just don't miss out on that. Easy stuff. Easy rewards to grab. And then in the events, the champion training has started. That is a 5-day event. We're at 4.5 days now. You will have to get to 7150 to get the rare. So, as I said, I feel like with the fusions, typically everything is inflated almost to the highest point. If not, they start pushing new higher levels in terms of how many points you need to get something. So 7150 for champ training over 5 days isn't the end of the world. You should be able to knock that out. Obviously, if you can get up to that legendary skill tome, would be great, but probably best to save your resources for the next champ training. It should be a tournament that would pop up after that. And then artifact enhancement. I guess I've gotten a bit of a start on this one, but you will have to get up to, again, another large amount. Typically it's here at the 4,000. We're here at the 4775 to get the rare. So, you know, keep on top of it. Again, I would probably do the majority of this, or I will be doing the majority of this tomorrow during CVC. I'll at least get up to this 5600 and get the, oh, it's a 5-star. I'll at least get to the 4700. I don't necessarily care about a 5-star legendary cast or an epic tome for that matter. So I would recommend going to 4775 and hanging on to your silver. We do have 3 of these for the fusion. That's my recommendation there. And then, as I stated earlier in the video, Dungeon Divers starts tomorrow. That's where I would highly recommend holding off on doing Spider. So you're triple dipping, you're getting CVC points, you're getting Spider tournament points, and then you'd be getting the Dungeon Diver event points as well. Min-maxing. We want you to min-max, right? Min-maxing all day. All right. So, bit of a longer video, I think. It feels like it's been a long video. We went through a ton of stuff. The last thing I want to remind you about, Forge Pass. I'm going to remind you every day, get your dailies done. I've already completed my dailies here. If you're free to play or low spend, you do definitely want to get this righteous set, get the 75 forging materials for it. If you, again, are free to play or low spend, you gotta get these. This set is awesome. So that is all I got for you for today. I will be streaming 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time at www.twitch.tv/gestelgaming. And I'd love to see you there. But until tomorrow, good luck with the fusion. Have an awesome day. Take care.